Alright, well, welcome back to Black Swan Outdoors, and today we're going to measure the height of this bridge here using our WNDSN Telemeter. So in a previous video we've talked about how you can range find with your telemeter. Today we're going to talk about how to find the height of an object. Now again, because we're using trigonometry, if you saw the previous video, we just need to we need one piece of the calculation known to plug into the trigonometric equation. So in this case it's going to be distance, and then we're going to use the telemeter to find the angular height. Okay, so what that means is, because it's opposite versus across from adjacent, we're looking for the tangent then of the device. So once we measure that angular height, we can plug that distance into the equation. So the angular height times tangent time divided by the distance. Sorry, I can't talk. So how do you find the distance is the question. Now you can certainly, if you're using map and compass, if you're doing this while you're navigating and you have map and compass available, you just measure that distance from your known location. So you can triangulate or trilaterate your location, and we've done videos on that before with your telemeter, and off of two or three known points, and then you could either use your GPS device, and if you know the height of something in the vicinity of the area that you could use to estimate, you can certainly estimate, or you could use your telemeter to measure the height of the known object in your area too. So there's various different ways in which you can find that distance that's available. So how are we going to find our angular distance? Well, what we're going to use the inclinometer, and the inclinometer basically is this quadrant side of the telemeter, and essentially what it is like a kid's protractor. So if you have a plastic protractor you'd have used in school, you can do the same thing with it. There's a little notch here we're going to hang our string on, and then we are going to be able to judge our angular or slope, angle by slope, or slope, incline, by the string here running up against one of those lines. Okay, so we're just going to use the top here to measure to the top of that bridge. All right, and then we're going to read the side here. Now it's really helpful you have someone to help you with that reading. Now keep in mind, since we're standing, we have to add the height, our height, to this equation. Otherwise, you know, what it's assuming is that that triangle is going all the way down. So when I mean triangle, and this is kind of a crude example, is if I put my tip of my index finger at the top, and my thumb at the bottom here, where my index finger and my thumb meet at the triangle, and I know this is kind of crude, that's that angular height, and that's assuming it's down at the very bottom, at the ground, right? So because we're standing, we're gonna have to add that difference in. So when I did my measurements, I got about a 9, and my range, I was able to find my range with Google Maps. That was the easiest. So it was about 480 meters from this bridge. So I could plug that into the calculation. Now you can use this, you can use the WNDSN Telemeter website to do that calculation as well. They've got a calculator on there, which also converts things from mils and radians, which is super helpful. So if you are measuring something very, very far away, you can use radians as a really good example to get that height, because it's not going to be super close. So if you have a optic with mil hashes on it that you can measure the radians, you can use that then to get that very, very far object, and that's a little bit easier than for range finding, for example, or for heights of long distances. So anyway, so the calculation I got on from the 480, I think 480 meters with I think 9 degrees was 76 meters high. Now I went onto Google because I'd have my phone with me to verify, and it was 72 meters, so pretty close, a little bit off. I then verified my distance with my telemeter using the mils. This is the mil version of the telemeter. So you can see here, there's an equation. So I measured the angular height with this, and then calculated the height, I'm sorry, the range, based off of that, the mils on the side. So I took my reading, which I think was 150 times 1,000, and you can see the equations right in here, divided by the mils, and that got me 480, and I'm actually 485, I think, feet roughly away. So it was pretty freaking accurate. So again, hopefully this was a good video for you to understand how you can measure your height with the WNDSN Telemeter. I'll be doing more videos shortly, so stay tuned. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If I got something wrong or could have described something better, please, of course, put that down below as well. And thank you for subscribing, and stay tuned.